G'day guys, just been working up the back here, quitting time, nice cooly sharp. Oh, it's still warm for April. I thought I'd just duck down here and have a quick flick and the fish hold up here until that water temperature drops, so there should be some good fish down here, or there could be nothing down here. We'll go and find out. Probably going to have a controversial title to this video in regards to the bullshit I hear about this BFF bait caster finesse as a new technique that's just, I mean, it's a 10-year-old reel there, mate. All right, bait casters have been around for a long time. I first want to say I've fished with the best. I've fished with John Bethune, I've fished with Todd Young, and I've fished with Dean Hayes. Three of the best bait casting fishermen I've ever come across. Sorry about that. Young Thomas tries to ring me when he's leaving work, thinking I might be on a roof to slow me down. Little does he know. Yeah, I fish with Dean Hayes. All right, all three guys I just mentioned are all passed away, unfortunately. I fish with Dean. He's basically the charter fishing we have around Sydney today. He was the OG. He started it. Him and Bass on Fly. John Bethune, what do I need to say about John, except for what a fucking legend he is. He was an, oops, hooked my finger. He was the Australian casting champion, which is a lot better than that. Get off there. Australian casting champion. He was an innovator in bait cast. Oh, take that back. Got to get used to this. This is a brand new rod. I'm trying to get used to it. I think I need to cut a bit off. Go. Let's stop with the back khaki-handed cast. Yeah, John Bethune, he was Mr. Bass. He's a legend, mate. He was an Australian casting champion, and he was the one that sort of brought the bait caster into Australia. I mean, for big cranks, like stuff like what I'm using now. But as he got on in years, he did get into the little tiny lures, and the one that really was a phenomenon was Todd Young. That guy, I fish this skinny water stuff like it's embarrassing how I fish it to how Toddy used to cast through this water with a little bait caster. It's embarrassing, and I'm talking like light little lures, baby nuggets and attack lures and things like that. I was going to hit those. I was going in the way I wanted, but I was going to hit those trees. Yeah, so I fish with three masters, all Hawkesbury boys. Now, the Hawkesbury boys have been using bait casters for a long time. Not like how I'm using it. I mean, I'm talking finesse bait casters. I won the Brogo Dam Bass Comp in 1999, I think it was. Me and a bloke called Jason Quayle went all the way down there for it. There's got to be one there. And I won champion angler. Jason comes second. We also won champion team, biggest bass. We took out everything that year. Jason only uses bait casters. He was one of the best finesse bait casters I've ever met. In '99, he comes second to champion angler with a baby nugget, tailor-made nugget, which is the tiniest little lure. And that was what, 26 years ago. And he was a master of it. Benny, that I work with, and my mate Benny that you see on all the videos, he's up there. There's another guy called Greg Beattie, he's up there. I mean, these guys, oh, that's what you want. These guys are masters, are master anglers, and they all use bait casters. and they all use little tiny lures. Now even before that, when you go to the saltwater boys, right, the first rack fishing, pretty well, the guru of rack fishing was a guy called Bobby Williams. There's a mate of mine, Chris Setri, will back me up on this. The guy invented this stuff, rack fishing with lures. Anyway, they didn't have the bait casters to cast those tiny lures back then, so they were using closed face reels, right? All closed face. And they used to beef them up. They used to pull them apart and strengthen them up so they could handle these fish on the racks. And we're talking like full-blown blue nose, crazy blue nose. So they used to beef them up, and then the bait casters turned up after that, and then they were using bait casters. Spinning reels were the third thing to be used for finesse fishing on oyster racks. Even though you think that that it would have been spinning reels from day one, it wasn't. It was all closed face reels and then bait casters, because the little Shimanos and that started popping up, little Abus. Oh, I'm just hitting this because I'm thinking this is a highway. Surely something will be in this highway. Yes, anyway, Bobby Williams really got the boys going up the Central Coast, chasing these cracking Bremon, pretty well tiny little lures on closed face and bait casters. The Hawkesbury boys were running attack lures and tailor-made nuggets and things like that back in the 90s. This is my bad casting hand from earlier. Let's see if I've fixed it. Nah, not really. And people want to make content, so they try and make out that these things are new. It's like writing an article on dead sticking. That always does my head in. Because you're just doing it to make content, you're not actually trying to help anglers become better anglers. And if it's your cup of tea, it's your cup of tea. Come on, one little look and I'm on my way. Still a lot of snakes around, man. I'll go this way first and have a look at that, and then we'll go back that way. It's not the awkwardness of casting a bait caster that stops me from using them in the creeks. It's more this. I'll just drop that little rubber down. See all that slack line I got here? Alright, and then I want to bring it back. Boom, boom, boom. Slack line's gone. Rose it to the top. Now I can drop it back down again. You can't work a lure with a bait caster like this. They're two separate things. They're two separate styles of fishing. So if you want to do this style of fishing, well, good luck. You can use a bait caster, but most of the guys that I know don't. They fish the bait caster style of fishing. So it's just horses for courses. So when I want a slow roll, steady retrieves, bait caster. When I want to twitch and burn and rip, spinner reel. Now we're going to crawl around there. I went fishing down here with Toddy Young one day, and oh mate, I refused to tell him how good he was. Everywhere I cast, he threw in behind. He followed me everywhere. He tagged me. If I could skip one under a tree, he would skip one under a tree. And mate, it was something special. Watching a master at his game, something special. He was pinpoint. See, I'm not pinpoint. I can get a distance like a bait caster to me, right? A good example is just here. See, one in, back out. It's really a valuable tool. So I can just go in, back out. I'm a distance like a line caster is what you could say I am, you know. And then I'll just hold it and I'll just pelt it out like that, and away we go again. But Toddy could skip these lures into places that I could only get an egg beater in. He's just a special talent, he was. And I mean, like Bradman, like so many, like Andrew Johns, he was casting at plugs at targets for hours and days and hours and weeks and hours and months and hours and years. He'd cast and cast and cast. He got better and better and better. He'd be rolling over in his grave thinking that people are talking up bait finesse fishing as a new style of fishing that certain people have just got into, because he'd be saying, come on man, come on, I've been doing that for a long time. And like I said, his mates rarely gave him credit. It's like, yeah, it's alright, not a bad cast. Fishing these creeks too, you got to really realise, like, there ain't much of this. There's not much overhead. Like, I can come in there, but so you got to be very versatile. You got to learn to cast left, right, up and over, just to pull them out, like just to lob it around the hole and work it. Anyway, we're going to move on again. I'll hit the banks with a Plazzy before we go, but we're going to move on again. You know, certain rods I use make me look good. Some make me look like I don't know what I'm doing. Same with reels, fishing reels. You know, I think a lot of this BFF or BS bullshit is because the reels are so high tech these days that you don't have to be that skilled to be able to work them or cast them. The boys I was talking about were using little black maxes and little abus, you know, little tiny, like you'd hear them cast and they go wuzz, like they really weren't meant to do what they were doing back then. See, look, snag straight away. So you got to watch it. You can't just do overhead casting in here with bait casting. It is a real challenge. Like I'm not bagging this style of fishing. The hookups are really good. Like you feel something on a bait cast, you really know you got a fish. But me, I like the big stuff, and unfortunately I live in Sydney. You know, I like flicking the big tranks around on a weight bait rod. I'm not really into this finesse bullshit. So you know what? We're wasting our time here. I would have had a fish if I had one by now. So unfortunately, I have to go somewhere else. Oh, that's okay. Gives us a chance to look at a few spots. Like they should be feeding their way out, like they're feeding up, so you'll find one stretch of creek will be full of big bass or full of good bass, and it's just a matter of finding them. I like using bait casts, especially in the boat. I do enjoy it in the boat because I can choose when to pick it up and when to put it down. But I sort of, when I first started going in the bass clubs and fishing comps and stuff, I turned up with an egg beater and everybody laughed at me, you know. Back then they only used bait casters, but I was using these tiny little lures. And you know what, I was the 98, 99, 2000 champion angler of the Hawkesbury, and I tell you, over those 3 years everybody bought a spinning reel. And like I said, we were the 99 champions at Brogo Dam on half size tailor-made nuggets, little baby nuggets, tiny. So it's not new, and the people that I know that do fish that style of fishing fish that style of fishing. You know, if I was going to use cicadas, bait caster, 1, the action. I sit there and just tap the rod. It gives that action. 2, I take the drag off, so when they suck at it, it draws back and it catches them, unlike a spinning reel. So horses for courses, guys. Don't believe everything you hear. And sorry you didn't get a fish. And you know what? I'm too lazy to walk anywhere else. I'm going out fishing with Raptor on Thursday, so we'll have a really good kingfish video coming up for you. I must admit though, that big Tranks, you know, a couple of years ago, we had a big rubber prawn hooked up a Jew, like big Jew. Had that drag tighten right up, no running of him. And oh geez, it was fun until he straightened the hooks out. But yeah, the hooking of fish on these bait casters is fun. And then, just because I've mentioned some of the great anglers I've met and fished with, doesn't mean that you're not a great angler too. You put the time in like what Toddy did and you become really, really good, really, really quick. And then you use these creeks. Like I haven't used bait caster for years, but I just ran that bait caster then. We were fairly heavy lure, but that's irrelevant. The distance in that creek, I could have used any lure I got. I just wanted to hit one on a wake bait. And I brought my lure back, didn't I? So there you have it. Another pointless video by me. I'd be interested to see what pointless comments I get this time. Although I take that back because some of you guys are really cool. There's the regulars, and then there's the new people that watch my videos and they sort of expect me to be an actual YouTuber. And it's not, I'm a fisherman that tries to do YouTube instead of a YouTuber that tries to fish. You know, there's a big difference in my books. So my videos are going to be poorly made, but if you listen to them, there's fishing knowledge in them. You know, it goes back to if somebody gives you a tip, a fishing tip, and it's right, you listen to everything they say. If someone gives you a fishing tip and you find out it was a lie, never listen to them again, ever. I've drawn one little bass out, so they're still here. They are still here. Ooh, combination of goat shit and someone cooking breakfast in the back. Yeah, there's one. Oh, look at the size of it. Oh well. Hey, we get ourselves a fish as big as the reel. Well, let's go for a fish now. I'm only on the side of the road here, so I just pulled up, had a look around, thought, ooh. Yeah, this video is dedicated to the anglers, the master anglers of the past, and good luck to the future master anglers.